Alright, so I bought this thing probably, I want to say close to 3 months ago. It finally came in. This is the Northwest Fab reduction box, or Eco-Crawler as they call it. It is a 2004 Tacoma VF transmission, manual transmission. I have the shifter interface, the crawler lid, and then the base plate, and then I opted for the triple stick so that it doesn't look fucking retarded in the truck. Here's all it came with. So, as you can see, the machining, I mean, hold on. This is going into an off-road truck. I really don't give a fuck about the machining, but I will point it out. Like you can see, they got a little sloppy with stuff. There's a lot of run over in it. This one here, like right here, you can see they dug in a little bit. So if that is a sealing surface, it will be receiving a healthy dosage of the sauce. Inside looks to be pretty fucking good. I mean, they got the same thing a little bit down there, but honestly, if this thing fucking holds together, I'm happy. And it is, I mean, that's all the way down. It is thick. Get down in the meat and potatoes of her, you have, wow, looks like a full pecker width down there. So, you know, 1.5 inches. Everything looks pretty stout with it. It's got a recessed O-ring, which I like. It came with the doubler, so when you take your transfer case apart, you throw this little flappy dappy in there. This here I can only assume is part of the shift linkage, probably for the current transmission. It's got this big beefy ass fucking gear. They've done their logo into it, and the machining on this is spot on. And that's honestly what I give a fuck about. It's got some sort of either bronze or some sort of bushing in there. You can see it's got a little penis inside of it. All the way in there, you probably can't see shit, but even the machine work in there is great. Gears are perfectly cut, so I'm pretty happy with where it counts. I'm gonna send mine out and have them engraved. It would have been nice if it was 2-wheel drive, neutral, 4-wheel drive, you know, high-low, and then maybe doubler high-low. Some sort of definition on these. I don't like that. So I'm actually going to send them out. I'm going to have them engraved. I have to figure out first which one has neutral in it. So I think it might be the 2 neutral 4. But before I waste any money, you know, I don't want to dump a couple $100 into engraving and painting if I'm going to just fucking ruin it. So, yeah, I am going to paint them to match the truck. These are all the chinguses that are going to go in there. Looking fabulous. I have no fucking clue how to do this. I'm no dipshit. I got, you know, a couple tools laying around the house. I have never done one of these, so I'm strictly going to be reading off the instruction manual and putting it together. So I think this is going to take me about a week to do. I'm going to build the case today. There is my donor case. So this is my donor case. It is a, as they requested, it is this style of a case. So you got low, 4, neutral, high, and then the buttons in the side. This does not fucking matter. I'm keeping it for this material because the material matches the inside of my truck. So when I put the triple sticks in there and I have the material made for it so that each stick looks like it belongs in there, I'll have it. But other than that, I don't give a shit. So here's the case, looking fucking sexy as hell, of course. I gotta see what I'm getting into, tear it apart, and build something here. So I looked and looked and looked and looked, and there are no videos on how to do this. There is no videos of anybody doing a Tacoma. It's all Jeep bullshit. And I like to get where I'm going, so that's why I have a Toyota. All you Jeep guys, no offense, but go fuck yourselves. Just kidding, I run with a bunch of Jeep guys. And yes, I talk shit to them. So, I'm going to take you guys along on this journey, try and make a video. I sound like a fucking moron because I am a moron, so if you take this project on by yourself, don't follow this video as instructions, because if your shit blows up, I don't want to fucking hear about it. But here's how I'm going to do a better view of this. So the instructions are saying, take this bolt out. It says use an impact. Take this here guy out. There's a little sensor on the bottom. Speed sensor, output sensor. I'm assuming it's a speed sensor. So unbolt that. It says twist it, pull it out. I'm sure it's going to be stuck in there. This thing's corroded. And then on the instructions, it shows just one of these sensors. So I'm taking both sensors out. What it doesn't talk about is it doesn't talk about this shift motor, which is a thing. So that's going to come out. And then it doesn't talk about this ghetto ass fucking skid plate that probably does fuck all nothing. Also going to tip it up, make sure that it's empty before it barfs all over the cart, but honestly don't really care. It is currently in 4-wheel drive, which is beautiful. So, nope, just kidding. It's in 2-wheel. So, it doesn't fucking matter. But, yeah, so I'm going to take some of that shit apart. Any other little clips I see on the way, I'm going to take those out and then start prying away at shit. It says to use a chisel and a hammer. I have an air hammer. It's probably not going to give me that much trouble, but I like fucking shit up. Alright, update time. So, took these bolts out. I looked at the instructions a little bit, didn't see this, decided to just start unbolting shit. Flange is off. A few tappies from this side. It's on the floor. I took the front one off too. Probably not supposed to. Didn't say to. In the instructions it says this whole cat, don't need it. I think right here is the piece we need. Now, speed sensor. This thing, I bought this on eBay. Yeah, I bought it on eBay. It's rusty as shit. I live in Southern California now, but I used to live on the East Coast where you deal with this rust garbage all the fucking time. So I'm going to put this chisel here, give this a couple nice gentle tappies, and if that doesn't do anything, I'm going to smash the fucking shit out of it with an air hammer. But I don't think I need this housing. I am being careful with this side of things, to an extent. But I'm going to have some fun with that. I'll be back. Okay, so before I go too far, just took it apart. Did not need to do this back flange. I was wrong. This is the side that we don't need. All the fun stuff's in there. Now, I don't know why I didn't notice this when I bought it, but it's got red silicone in it. So humans have been in here. Not typically a good sign, but the fluid looks great. There's no metal in it. All this dirt right here is from me just fucking whacking the living fuck out of it. The little dowel pins had a little bit of corrosion. They needed a little assistance. Did not need to move that shift assembly right there at all. The instructions do talk about if you're using an electric T-case, there's some spring with this shift to fork assembly that you can use. I don't know if it's in here or where that rod goes in. I will be careful with this part for right now, and then I'll probably throw it at the floor and have fun with it. But I don't see any real excessive wear in this thing. The bearing in the back looks perfect. So we're gonna just keep tearing into it and trying to see what we can do. I now have to read the instructions a little further and get the next few steps. Alright, so next step, these 3 bolts come out. Those 3 bolts in there come out. And then on the other side, all of these little fuckers here are coming out. And then this is supposed to come off and the planetary set's supposed to come out of it. And all we'll have is that guy there. So let's see what happens. So here we are. Undid that. It didn't want to come out, so I gave it a little chisel action right here, just a little quick, like that. Like you were dropping the hammer on the old lady. Came right out. There was a snap ring right here. Undid that snap ring and then pulled all of her little lady bits out this way. I don't know if I need that yet, but it says the next step is to remove the synchro. So I was looking at this, and that is evidence that I didn't want to see, that it has had a failure and work done inside. And then over there, it's got a huge wear mark in that bushing, and I was like, well, fuck, that's so disappointing. And then I realized it's getting a whole new shaft shoved in it with a nice, sexy little bushing. So we don't have to worry about that. So I'm going to follow suit with what they say. This synchro gear has to come out of it. Once that's out, then I got to flip her over. Yeah, thought it would fall out. Flip her over, take this little pin right here off, and then this is all going to fall down, and then I'm going to start fucking with the planetaries inside, mess with that thing, and then I think I'm going to reverse engineer it, put it back together, and then somehow it's going to start fitting into that thing. Don't know how, but somehow. And I do think that I do need this. Luckily this one looks nice, and luckily I didn't fucking butcher it like I wanted to. But again, I'm not the type of person to read ahead in directions. I tried, and then I just started taking things apart. So I'm going with it. I removed, in this order, these things. So this side was down. I don't really see a difference. This clip was right here. Pulled the clip off. Popped this guy here out. So they're out of the way. There was a little ball which is right in there, and it was right here. So they say to take that out, and then they say to go ahead and remove this. Doesn't appear to be, well, that ain't gonna work. That didn't work. Alright, so I got it. I don't know if I missed a step. They were saying to remove the synchro set, which I was thinking was up here, but apparently this is the synchro, because this was holding me from going down. So I popped out the big O-ring here, or the big clip here. Boom, she gone. Now, slip the old shifter shafter out of here. We're going to take this little flat little fucker right here. Chingus. Usually you can work under these things like this. Yeah. Sometimes a magnet will pull it up. They create a little vacuum with oil. Come on. There it is. Slight pressure. Keep it going. Alright, so I'm going to put that upside down in there. There's needle. Yeah, let's just show you. This is an informative video. Okay, so there's little needle bearings in here. This here is basically the, I'm going to call it the condom between these two little fuckers. So next step, we got to take these oil rings off. Oil rings are pretty easy to get off. You push hard here, follow your finger around, you'll see it gets high there, and then you can walk them up. I am going to do that afterwards because the next step for those on here, but I want this in there first because I don't want to fuck with the bearings and all that stuff. So I'm going to clean this all down with some brake cleaner, get all the packing dust off of it. I'm going to clean all this stuff up here, get some assembly lube, and start putting this thing together. But that's kind of where we're at. We're moving right along. Alright, so I'm just going to use a little bit of gear oil here. I don't want a lot on there because I'm just going to make a fucking huge mess and dump it all over my welder, but it's all good. So, shaft is lubed. create another little vacuum with this thing, move some of that lube around. I cleaned everything really nice, wiped it all down. Just going to do the same in here for now. Dabby. Whoop. Give her the old fucking Switzerland finger. Alright, so as said, gonna put that back in there. Get her up here. Put this one in there. So now we're going to transfer over the chingaderises. This is all nice and good. Now I like to use these shop towels because they don't leave lint. A lot of times when I use the actual shop rags, they will leave little hair particles in there. Those are really bad because what it ends up doing is it ends up fucking clogging the filter. I don't know if this is getting a filter or not, but it clogs the filter in transmissions and transfer cases and you know, everything. So, alright, I'm gonna get this thing back together here, put all these back in there, get the little detent ball into it. Right there. So let's get these off there. Show you guys how I do one of these. If I can. I'm only going to do this just a little bit to get it up. Ooh boy. It doesn't need much. So you get it up over the lip and then you kind of just walk it down and around. And then this side here, gone. So now we're just gonna get one side on. Now we're gonna put them together here in the middle. Come on, baby. There we go. So now they're hooked in. Should probably show you on the other one how that hook works. That wasn't such a dum-dum. Dummy. Dum. This really isn't the step that you want to rush through. Remind me of that after I snap this. Come on, baby. Whoop. Picks always go in your hands so nicely. What's happening here? There we go. There's that one. Oh, skills. Okay. Here's what I'm talking about here. They got little teeth, so when you go in, you just hook them together like that. And then when they're in their pressure, they hold tight. Slip down the old shaft, yes, Sally. La 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 la. Okay. You can be semi-aggressive with these things. I try to do a little bit at a time here. I'm gonna put these guys together. I'm gonna get rid of the pick so I don't put it in my fucking hand. There we go. 2 oil seals in. I changed directions of them. So one's here, one's on the opposite side. Now we're gonna do this here. Okay, so this is going in here. Little dab will do ya. Doesn't say to do this in the instructions, but I don't really give a fuck because it's my money, not theirs. Or it might say it in the instructions, I'm just too impatient and didn't read it. I don't know. That is besides the point. Okay, let's find the hole. Oh, that's it. It's so good. It's in. Bloop. Detent ball is in. Give this the old wipey wipey. Okay, that's in. I just pulled up a little bit on it, just you know, a little bit. Okay, let's get this in there. So I do not have the right tool for this, surprisingly. Snap-on doesn't come till Tuesday, so we're going to ignore that and just do it how we want to do it. There are many ways to fuck a prostitute. This is my way. Fiddle fart fucking around, yo. I try not to spread these things any further than I need to because I don't want them to develop a memory. Definitely don't want it to get stuck on these oil seals. There we go. We have made the jump. Okay, so now that the oil seals are safe, pick up the old shaft, pull it nice, and punch that thing in. Sorry guys, I'm trying to do it so you can see, but don't really give a shit either because nobody's gonna fucking watch this video. There we go. So she's shafted all the way around. This thing did something, some sort of clicky, I don't know. But that's in. So now we flip the old dumpster over. And in here, I don't know if I mentioned it, but these go in there. They're half chinguses. So I'm gonna throw some lube in there, get those in there, and then I'm gonna put the snap ring up here back in because it is time for that. That goes in like this. Guys, if you don't have a good pick, get one. My favorite are from Mac Tools, but the Macco ones are very similar. Snap-on is just too fucking, it's too skinny, doesn't have enough strength. So those are nice and fat. I like my picks like I like my women. I'm going to continue reading some directions here and figure out what the next step is. Alright guys, I am woman enough to admit that I have fucked up. Fuck up number one is, started looking at this gear. That gear is toast. That is not going in this truck. This side looked great. Obviously you can see the load side. Fuck up number two. What I did there was supposed to be in my fucking transfer case. Told you guys I'm not fucking smart. You know, today I have my smart juice. Piss water, whatever you want to call it. I did not read ahead that I was not building that box right now. I just did this. And it wasn't until I saw the part where they want you to put that back together that I realized I had fucked up. And then I called it a night. And then I went inside and read the fucking directions. So, here we are. Now, I don't think it's going to be detrimental. I think I'm leaving this part alone. But I didn't read the directions all the way yet. So, maybe, maybe not. We'll find out soon. They have me taking that apart next, so I have a feeling that's coming apart. And hopefully not, because if it is, then this gear needs to be purchased. Shit. Anyways, so I removed the spring clip in here, and then I took out spring clip, and then this little chingus in here had a detent that is right here. So shifter, transfer, small part of case, right there. That pin goes through to right there, and kind of holds it in. I didn't read the directions, so I used this little pry bar here, put it under there, went, and it came up. So, wasn't much force at all. Then the instructions say to take this out, and the ball and detent and everything, and then this arm's coming off. Comes off with this. There's supposed to be 3 little pins in there that are going to fall apart, and then I'm going to start taking gears off of this. So that's the next part as far as this all goes, and that's pretty much caught up to date. So here's the pins, and here's the check ball. Those are all you're going to need. Some of the cases have 2 of these. That would be going in this rail right here. Mine does not. That is for the J shift style, what is currently in my truck, so you can pull it down, go over, up, and then forward. This one's strictly high and low, and then shifted by a little pansy motor. So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. So now I'm going to start pulling this apart. You can see I got the detent out. I'm reading the directions a little closer now. So this is going to come out, and all this is coming with it, and that's what you want. So that's where I'm at. I'll catch you up in a minute. All right, we're back. Beer is now empty. Right there, that's sad. Okay, so what I did, I took this fork off that it showed. This fork here had a bolt that went through it. Bolted in right there. I took that off. That popped up, and it showed what it was in the picture. I just slipped it up completely out of the way. I got to take this here out right now, and then I got to use a puller and pop this gear out. I did do smart things today, and I brought home the correct tools. And the instructions, it says you will lose little keyways, and they are not needed. They will fall out. There's 1, 2, and third one's probably running through the chain somewhere. Who the fuck knows? There it is. So they sit in there, make up teeth, so pretty. Don't know what they're for, but anyways, doesn't matter. Yeah, so I am now gonna pull this gear out after I remove that clip, and then we will continue on, and then it starts building in there. Per the next instructions, I have to put this here back on, which, if you remember, had a scored bearing. So I ain't going very fucking far tonight, which pisses me off, because I can't have shit like that. This is going on a 2004 Tacoma. It's currently on 35s. It's getting 1 ton swapped and going on 40s next year after we hit the Rubicon with it. So there'll be a lot more of these fucking incredible installation videos with me fucking up more shit and learning how to do things. So yeah, I think the reason that I'm not editing this video is because I told you in the beginning I was a fucking idiot and nobody believed me, or probably did. But I'm just gonna roll with it, dude. I'm just gonna, you fuck things up, you fix them, you move forward. So this gear being fucked up and the bushing in there being fucked up means I have to call Toyota tomorrow, get a diagram, do lots of fun things. So anyways, yeah, I'll catch you up once I have this thing tore apart and move forward. So here's where we're at. Got some forks. I got this thing pressed off of it. Have the other piece for it right there. This belongs in here. I have to punch this roll pin out. In the instructions, it says something about another snap ring. I mean, this is the engagement for the 4-wheel drive, 2-wheel drive. It showed that there was another clip somewhere, and I don't know where it is yet. So we're gonna pretty much start moving on to that guy there and dropping things in. This is the next thing to go in, so I'm gonna clean it, then I'm gonna add a shitload of oil around it, then we're gonna put the clip in, then I have to take this thing back apart and put it in the other piece, or I might leave it together. I know I need this gear, so I'm gonna order this gear tomorrow. I'm gonna order the bushing in here tomorrow, and then we'll see where we end up. But as far as the other clips that they're talking about, I don't know where they are yet. So I'm gonna punch this roll pin out and start moving forward. Okay, a little update here. So this side has a chamfered edge. According to the instructions, that edge goes down. Then you got to get these little teeth on the edges have to line up with these ports, and you're gonna have to toss it in there. Instructions do say it can be a tight fit. Mine appears that it's gonna be a fucking tight fit. So they say to get it started, use a blunt chisel and tappy 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 all the way in. That kind of sucks, but it is what it is. And then the non-chamfered edge makes sexy time with this ring. And then we drop all that in there. Alright, so here's where it ends for the day. I need to look this gear up. I can't move any further until I do. Based off of the situation with the input shafts being wrong because I didn't read the fucking directions, I am going to remove the transfer case out of my truck, pull that out, slip this one in, replace that gear, and then use the one out of my transmission, dump it into here, and probably throw that one out. We'll see though. So at this point, this ring gear was a pain in the ass to get in there. In the directions it says a snug fit. It was definitely a snug fit. Brand new brass punch, took a whaling. I definitely exercised the 32 ounce hammer. Thought about getting the 48 ounce, but kept it civil. So that's in, get the snap ring in. I am going to move the snap ring over to here more. Not necessary, but makes me feel better. And then, yeah, so this is in. Put the detent plug in that they asked for. There it is. That was the one with the, so I had two of them over here. One with a ball, one of them with a dick. I put the dick in there because that's what came out of it. So, unfortunately, this is where we sit as of right now. Oh, I've been putting gear oil, lucrative amounts on everything as I'm going. So, this is not dry. That is not dry. But, yeah, unfortunately, out of beer, out of here, out of parts. Fuck. So I'm going to go inside, try and find that piece there. If I can't, then I'll call the dealer in the morning, get it ordered up. We are just a few days before Christmas, so we'll see. I'm in a shit situation here because I got a fence being built, so making lots of dust over here. I have the cylinder head off of this guy. So that's being sent out. So I'll have to get the skid steer, push this over, somehow figure out how to get the Tacoma in here, and then get some of this other shit out of the fucking way. I got so many projects going on right now, it's not even funny. And then, yeah, we'll be able to rock and roll once the T-case is out, or I might just bring it to work and trailer it home. I don't know. Okay, so I just was in the house. Oh boy, shit's getting wild out here. And I started looking shit up. That's the low gear right there, the thing that's damaged. There it is. So I started fucking around with things, looking at things. Actually continued through and was putting shit together here. And I don't need this ring gear. Yes, I need the ring gear in the sense of right here. That's low, that's high. But I do not need this outer ring. So I can't drop this assembly into my transfer case, take that transfer case, and do the thing. Anyways, so what's going to happen here is I'm going to take all this back apart. I'm going to do this. I can replace the bushing inside of there afterwards. Not a big deal. However, one thing I'm noting is there's a collar on this. So it's supposed to be a little stubby shaft, which is right there. This has a collar on it. I don't know if that collar needs to go into my transmission or not. Regardless, does not stop me. I'm taking this shit apart, putting that shit on that shit, putting that shit in there, putting the fucking and getting this fucking thing going. So I'm going to continue going tonight and see how far I get. Okay, here we go. That didn't take very long at all. So here's the shaft, the Northwest Fab shaft. Here's the box as it sits. I got the snap collar in. In the instructions, it says this bearing fits snug, a little tighter than in the factory unit. Honestly, didn't notice it too much. I mean, yes, I gave it a couple taps with the punch, but I literally burrowed this edge over, beating that fucking gear into place. So, comparatively, not so bad. Let's see if I can do this with one hand. Yeah, fuck yeah, I can. Monster. Okay, so everything's set into place here. It was simply just whoop, and then you put the little clamp on the ball tickler down there. So now we're good. I will replace this bearing. This ring gear doesn't matter because it's on the outside and nothing fucking touches it. So from this point, how this works, this little fucking chingus goes in there. This little fucker drops into place. And then we hit high gear. Slow it down, bitch. So now we're going to put our little shifty fork in there. He's all going to be like, oh my god, click, 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 and everything's going to be fucking fantastic. One thing about this shifter fork is in the directions, it says to monkey fuck around with it. Hold on, time out, settle down here. Woo, God, I'm getting all excited. It says to grind away the part of the shifter. See that little nub, how it touches it? That has to go. So we need to grind that way we can go hit high, low, fucking super slow. But yeah, okay, I'm starting to get a little excited here. Starting to understand this a little bit. So stay tuned. Alright, so here it is, fresh off the mill. There's no more hump there. A little ridge is gone. Oop, sorry, gotta put the mill away. Yeah, we'll just put that over there for now. Yeah, as I was saying, right off the mill. So now we gotta put the nose cone on this thing, and then we're gonna start doing the fucky ducky thing, like that, and see what's next. So we got the nose on. So basically what I did is just barely inside these bolts all the way around. Over here I went towards the outside and then towards the outside in there. You'll pretty much be able to see on your transfer case. I'm using it. Well, on the other side of the transfer case, you'll be able to see the silicone marks around it, and you just kind of follow what they did. Obviously, I'm using it as a bench right now because now I have a large shaft sticking out. Then what I did is I took the rod, I put it through here, and did the grease like they say, so sloop, 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 sloop. To get the roll pin in, it was a little tough. What I did is I put everything all the way this way, lined up the roll pin, and just kind of squeezed it together with a pair of needle nose, and tap it with the world's biggest hammer. I call this my Men in Black hammer because it looks like when the guy got his head shot off and he goes, hey, do you have any idea how bad it stings? But this is a 4-ounce little tappy, and hold him next to his medium-sized brother, the 32-ounce. He's got some force behind him there, mate. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get the shift fork installed, and this chingus, and go from there. All right, so here we are. We have engagement. So the detent ball that they gave from the other transfer case is going to go in here. So that with this guy's, when he's up, it's locked in. You can actually feel the nice detents. The next step was to put in all these little brass plugs. There's 4 of them. Boop, 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 and one over here. Let me zoom out for you. Then it said to put in these studs. It says something about clocking it. And they're in 10-degree increments. No clue. No clue why. In the picture, it showed them in the center holes. I'm going to run with it. It looks like the next step is to mount this up to my transfer case currently. And then this is going to mount to the transmission. And then this big old beast of a cock is going to slip in there after this gear gets pressed onto it. Oh, well, looks like you don't even have to press it on that. That's fucking beautiful. It's the first time I've put it on there. So, definitely got a pretty good idea of how this thing works now. After I fucked it up, it is sure not that bad. So, hope you guys are learning from my mistakes. All one person that's still maybe halfway looking at this. If you are looking at this because you have a Tacoma and you want to do kick-ass shit with it, then fuck yeah, dude. But yeah, so that's it for right now. As said, next step is to pull the transfer case out of the taco. I don't know if I'm going to film that or not. If you can't remove a transmission from Tacoma, then you probably should not be attempting this. Or if you want to be a dumb shit like me and just halfway read the instructions and put things together, then cool. I did grease up the little bearings in there. Maybe I can be see oh, they're there. The half bearing all the way in the bottom. I looked at this shaft and bearing again. I am not going to replace it. I know I should. I also found the ring pattern on this thing was all fucked off. Luckily that doesn't touch anything. So I'm not super concerned with that. It is what it is. We're going to run this thing. If it fucking blows up on me, it blows up. But yeah, we'll be fine. So yeah, that is the current state of the Northwest Fab's Eco-Crawler. And looks like I just gotta rip the transfer case. Yay! So, a couple days, I'll get back to this.